Hey Rob, I'm hoping you can see me and hear me. Fingers crossed, and hopefully it looks acceptable. Ladies and gentlemen, I do believe, let's see if I can see myself, although that's a terrible thing to do. Okay, it looks like we should be alive and well. I've asked Rob in Kelowna to see if the signal can travel uphill through the mountains to get to Kelowna, and it looks like it's okay. Thank you very much, Rob. So we have finally come to round zero of the 2021 Can-Am. A few administrative things to mention. I did the pseudo-random thing, as Scott so kindly reminded me. Starting order or running order for round zero. I'll also be entering in real time the best lap times in the spreadsheet. The link is also on Home Racing World. Hopefully it'll be okay. If it's not okay, please post on the website. I will take a look every now and then just to see if everything is okay. The other thing that I would like to point out is for those of you that have seen previous live streams from here, you'll see that the actual picture-in-picture screen of the race management system looks a bit different. I've decided to and Rob just confirmed that the link to the spreadsheet is working as well, so that's also cool. You will see that I'm going to run 20 laps for each car and try and get the best lap time. Using the way that I used it before, I couldn't set the number of laps. I've adapted our bracket racing system to give me 20 laps so that I don't have to try and look like a chameleon, one eye on the track and one on the monitor, to make sure that I don't go over the mark. You will also see that on the screen there's what's called a set time. This is for our bracket breaking out system, but for purposes of today, this will be a target I'm hoping we can get relatively close to the 6.4 second mark. You will hear lap times not being called out in the normal way, so it's not a 6.95 whatever. It'll call out the hundredths of seconds over the target lap time. So if it says 62, it is 6.4 seconds plus 62 hundredths, so that'll be 7.02 or whatever. I know it's a bit confusing, but we'll get by with a little help from our friends. And I think without any further ado, it looks like we've got 3 people watching at the moment. I need to have a drink of water before I go any further. So, I'm going to go to the spreadsheet to see what I'm supposed to do. And first up will be Pepsi 62. Pepsi 62 with his BRM. Guys, I'm not going to spend too much time showing you the cars because I will be posting decent photographs on the forum relatively soon. So, 20 laps starting with Pepsi 62. And the other administrative thing that I'd like to point out is I'm running in green lane, which is one of the 2 lanes that we normally race on. It's about 0.2 of a second slower than blue, between 1 and 0.2 slower than red. So bear that in mind when we get to the racing. I did the qualifying in green for the World Championship proxy as well. So the numbers are comparable. I'm running at 11 volts for those that are interested. For those that aren't interested, I'm also running at 11 volts. So without further ado, the start of round 0. Fortunately not ground 0. Pepsi 62 kicks off 2021 Can-Am.
Slow, 19 laps.
By the way,
Slow, 18 laps.
the system will say slow if you're more than a second off the target.
Slow, 17 laps.
And there we have it. The first contestant for Can-Am 2021. Okay, if you guys take a look at the spreadsheet, you will see that I've incorporated Leon Luke's feedback ranking system. So I'll be filling that out or in. I've been putting the values in there in real time, so you can see it helps me as well. Okay, the best lap we've got is 7.728. And congratulations, Pepsi 62 is the top qualifier so far. The car chatters both under acceleration and in the corner. It makes it a bit intimidating to drive. You're scared to push it because I'm afraid it's going to jump out. Brakes were soft, very soft. Top speed was good. Grip was good. That caused some of the chatter, I think. Tippy, I think it could qualify as a bit as tippy and not easy to drive. Oops. I also found it lacking in acceleration. It feels like the gearing is too tall. That would contribute to the soft brakes as well. So, yep, I think that is pretty much it. So the next one up is number 93, Disco Denny. Disco Denny basically, well, I won't put my face, pretty much a stock Thunderslot Lola T70. And next in line, even though it's a Sidewinder, so it can't be next in line. Start off with a nice new sticky pad. Rob, if you hear this, if you could let me know if the updating of the live updating of the spreadsheet worked out fine. If you could send me a quick text, I would be infernally grateful. Okay, the next person to dance is Disco Denny. Let's start the music.
Slow, 19 laps.
A lot of jumps.
18 laps. 17 laps. 16 laps. 15 laps. 14 laps. 45, 9 items. 44, 8 items. 45, 7 items. 65, 6 items. 55, 5 items. 49, 4 items. 48, 3 items. 54, 2 items. 44, last lamp. Winner.
Right, and that was Disco Denny. The car has a lot of jump. It seems to be, okay. It has a 25 km/h. That would explain some of the horsepower. But it handles very well, very nice. It's just because it has a little more power, it's just a little bit more difficult to drive. A best of 6.840. And we have a new leader. Yes, it is smooth. It does not chatter. Brakes is neither too much or too little. It's the baby bear. Top speed is good. Grip, I think, is excellent. It is not tippy. It is not particularly easy to drive because it has just maybe the gearing is numerically too high. It's very punchy, so it is very sensitive to the throttle. And so it is a touch harder to control, but a very, very nice car. Let's see. And Rob says the spreadsheet is updating, seems to be updating well. And let's just see, are there any? Okay. It looks like War Eagle River is there, and Rob is there. So it looks like we're slowly but surely getting underway. Next person, CJ74. And Corey has one of the staples of the series, basically a stock Thunder slot, but it looks like a different motor in his otherwise stock Thunder slot McLaren M6. Unfortunately, our control station is rather far away from the driver's station. But seeing as we're going on laps, it doesn't really matter. It waits for me until I start. CJ74.
Slow, 19 lamps. 46, 18 lamps. 38, 17 lamps.
Lovely car.
36, 16 lamps. 27, 15 laps. 29, 14 laps. 30, 13 laps. 26, 12 laps. 24, 11 laps. 24, 10 laps. 23, 9 laps. 24, 8 laps. 25, 7 laps. 24, 6 laps. 22, 5 laps. 26, 4 laps. 24, 3 laps. 25, 2 laps. 27, last lap. Winner.
Beautiful car. Very easy to drive, excellent grip, buttery smooth. I think there were like 8 laps at one stage that I was only within 1 or 2 1/100ths of the same lap time the whole time. That always shows a car is easy to drive. 6.624, very quick. This is a very quick time on this track. So, smooth, very much so. Brakes, not too much, not too little. Top speed is very good. Grip is magnificent, not tippy, very easy to drive. And there I go with caps lock again. Next up, all the way from Chilliwack in the valley. Sorry, just took a sip of water quickly. My good friend Chris, F1 fan, with a very different car. Guys, the field is pretty much again dominated by largely stock Thunderslot McLaren M6s. I'm really hoping in the series that there is a car that is good competition for the Thunderslot McLarens. So I'd love there's some diversity in the group, but I'd love to see more. So Chris has an NSR 91710 with a Playfit chassis, so an odd body. And if you've ever seen Chris, you'll know he has a very odd body. But not that I'll hold that against him. And a Playfit chassis, which is unusual. So that's let's see what Chris has put together for us. F1 fan, Porsche 91710 Playfit chassis.
Slow, 19 laps. 6 laps, 53, 5 laps, 52, 4 laps, 53 laps, 55, 2 laps, 51, last lap, winner.
Alrighty. The tires got better as they warmed up, but still not the absolute grip that CJ74's car had, but very forgiving car. So F1 Fan has a 6.876. 6.876. It is verily smooth, not too much or too little brakes, top speed is good. I'm going to go with good grip, not tippy. It is easy to drive and forgiving. This is going to be my problem of the day, is this caps. And guys, you'll have to forgive me for typos. I'm not going to be fixing typos at this stage. I'll do that afterwards. And then all the way also from the Okanagan, Leadfoot 46, Leo. And another one of the always popular Thunderslot M6s. Black chassis, black pod, black tires. Good thing, Leo, thank you. And NSR 25k motor. I don't know how much you can see. Is this worth doing? Let me see what you see. Now there's a delay that doesn't help me very much. Okay, pretty useless. But I promise you, it is a Thunderslot McLaren M6. Leo, Leadfoot 46.
Energy free, 19 laps,
Very quick car.
29, 18 laps, 30, 17 laps, 35, 16 laps, 35, 15 laps, 42, 14 laps, 43, 13 laps, 39, 12 laps, 37, 11 laps, 36, 7 lambs. 62, 6 lambs. 39, 5 lambs. 35, 4 lambs. 40, 3 lambs. 32, 2 lambs. 33, last lamb. Winner.
Oof. Very, very quick car. It has a bit of an edge to it. Not quite as smooth as CJ74's car, for instance. But quicker lap times, can't argue with that. Alright, let's get to. So Leadfoot 46 did a best of 6.679. That is very quick. It is smooth, but not as buttery smooth. So I'm going to put a little bit of a straddle the fence there. Brakes is perfect, top speed is excellent, grip is excellent. It is easy to drive. And I remembered the caps lock. I overdrove the car a little bit in the middle section, and that's when you could feel that it has a little bit of an edge to it. But all in all, very quick, lovely car. Number 31, Glenn, GS No Point. I hope you'll make some points here, Glenn. With this first round, I'm not sure I'm achieving much of anything with cleaning the tires, because most of these tires are so brilliantly clean and polished. It shows me where I'm wrong. A Thunderslot McLaren Elva, stock black chassis, stock black pod. It looks like a 25k slotted motor, yellow end bell. Now, I can remember seeing McLaren Elvas running in real life in the 60s when I wore a younger man's clothes. Had some pretty quick cars. So GS No Point, McLaren Elva.
$89, 19 lambs. 44, 18 lambs. 40, 17 lambs. 36, 16 lambs. 41, 15 lambs. 35, 10 laps. 37, 9 laps. 34, 8 laps. 42, 7 laps. 36, 6 laps. 34, 5 laps. 34, 4 laps. 35, 3 laps. 31, 2 laps. 34, last lap. Winner.
What can one say about these thunder slots? They are just terribly annoying. They are so ridiculously good. Oh, another lovely, lovely, lovely car. 6.714, another quick. Another quick car, yeah. It is very smooth. Brakes is good, top speed is just right, grip is excellent, easy to drive. What more can one say, guys? It just blows my mind how good these thunder slots are, because that is very close to a stock thunder slot. Next up we have DRW Dave, and we have something different here. It is a not stock thunder slot. It is a McLaren M6, but it has a Humboldt brass pod in a thunder slot chassis, and it is suspended. I said that in a sentence, so does that make it a suspended sentence? Let's leave it at that. Certainly this is something different. I'm looking forward to see how it runs. DRW Dave with a brass pod.
Slow, 19 laps. 54, 18 laps. 48, 17 laps. 45, 16 laps. 41, 15 laps. 39, 14 laps. 39, 13 laps. 39, 12 laps. 46, 11 laps. 38, 4 laps. 56, 3 laps. 46, 2 laps. 38, last lap. Winner.
Very nice. It does not like you pushing it, which is okay for me because I tend to be more of a gentle driver than a harsh driver. But I think people that are going to be a bit rough on the controller with this car would struggle to get the best out of it. It doesn't like you putting on power too early. If you're a bit early out of the corner with the power, it gets unsettled. If you try to change, you have to keep a constant throttle basically through the corner. Very similar to Leon Helicia's World Championship car. Also remarkably the same. You have to keep it steady. But quick and smooth unless you go and mess with it. So 6.723. Yes, it is smooth. Brakes are getting a little bit on the, so I'll put a small X in there. It's more than the other cars. Top speed is great. Grip is excellent. It is not tippy. It is, I'll put a small X over here as well. Now I just have to remember my notation. Good grief. Phew. Some excellent cars already, and yeah. So, and some tight times. Tight times. This is going to be another extremely fast proxy overall. We'll have to have some kind of deciding which really is the fastest proxy in the world. I just want to take a look at the live streaming just to see. Right. Okay. It looks like we have 10 visitors at the moment, so it looks like things are okay. If anybody has any issues, just put it in the chat. I'll check every now and then. Next up, Audi 1 Allen. Ooh, I have Rice Krispie knees. They go snap, crackle, and pop. Audi 1. With what I think is one of the prettiest slot cars that you can buy at the moment. The Sunoco M6. The paint on this, the livery, it's just obscenely good. I mean, this is just, gotta love it. Stock black chassis, Thunderslot chassis, grey hard pod, and I'm not sure which motor, but it definitely has a motor. Audi 1. Now I'll be very surprised if this doesn't run beautifully.
25, 17 laps, 17, 16 laps, 16, 15 laps, 18, 14 laps, 13, 13 laps, 12 laps, 10, 11 laps, 19, 10 laps, 17, 9 laps, 22, 8 laps, 21, 7 laps, 25, 6 laps, 25, 5 laps, 25, 4 laps, 22, 3 laps, 18, 2 laps, 24, last lap, winner.
I don't know anymore. The prettiest slot car you can buy, and it does a 6.5 in the green lane. I give up. I give up. And it doesn't look as if there's anything extraordinary to it. But I suppose that's the sign of a well-built car. Yeah, so pretty much across the board, just everything is great. What more can one say? 6.507. And a new leader, grievous bodily harm. Yes, it is smooth chatter. What the heck is that? Brakes are perfect. Top speed is great. Grip is extraordinary. Tippy. It is so easy to drive, you can do it. There we go. Caps lock again. I'm going to get this right at some stage, guys. I am not competent to deliver any criticism on a car like this, I'm sorry. Oh, and just a comment on yeah, how many cars are we in now? 8 cars in. Haven't had a D slot yet. Guys, please recognize that that is not because I'm not pushing quite hard. My driving style is just such that I tend to focus a little bit more on smoothness rather than, I find if I try just going outside of my comfort zone, I mess things up. And I find I can get consistently decent results at a 95% level or whatever you want to call it. So please don't think that I'm not pushing these cars. These lap times are exceptional. Don't know what more to say about that. That's all I have to say about that, as Forrest said. And surprise, surprise, Another thunder slot, Lola T70, Stevie. Again, very close, well, not stock because it has a grey chassis, grey pod. Stock motor, and another beautiful, I really like this livery of this T70. Yeah, so just as for the driving, I find I can drive all day at 90-something% consistently, but as soon as I try to do something stupid, I do something stupid. So I avoid doing something stupid.
Slow, 19 laps.
A bit more brakes than
62,
other cars
18
have had
laps.
so far.
68, 17 laps. 68, 16 laps. 51, 15 laps. 48, 14 laps. 54, 13 laps. 46, 12 laps. 47, 11 laps. 47, 10 laps. 43, 9 laps. 38, 8 laps. 38, 7 laps. 34, 6 laps. 40, 5 laps. 40, 4 laps. 38, 3 laps. 34, 2 laps. 32, last lap. Winner.
It's another thunder slot. Another just incredible, just a lovely slot car. Just a treat to drive. Okay, so Stevie, a 6.728, which is an excellent time on this track. Yes, it is smooth. No, it doesn't chatter. It has, brakes are fine, top speed is good, grip is excellent, it is not tippy, and it is very easy to drive. Guys, if you bear with me for 2 minutes, I just want to grab some more water. I'll be back. Right. And next up, we have Harold. Another very pretty Lola, and again pretty much out of the box stock. While I've taken a break, let's just see, is there anything that's being said? Okay. Bob Gula is rubbing me for saying it doesn't look like anything extraordinary. It just goes like stink. Audi 1's car. Okay. These are some of the glossiest tires I've ever seen. I'm not sure if the sticky pad sticks to the tires or the tires are sticking to the sticky pad. Let's see, if I hold it 6 inches away from some dust, will it attract it? No, it doesn't. Lola T70 number 21.
Nineteen laps. 18 laps. 61, 17 laps. 51, 16 laps.
Oh, and there we have D-slot number 1. Sorry, Arnold. It does seem to be just short of the absolute grip of some of the other cars. Still, by mere mortal standards, the grip is incredible, but
Slow, 15 laps. 65, 14 laps. 55, 13 laps. 49, 12 laps. 53, 11 laps. 44, 10 laps. 45, 9 laps. 42, 8 laps. 47 laps. 43, 6 laps. 44, 5 laps. 34 laps. 31, 3 laps. 32, 2 laps. 25, last lap. Winner.
I think these tires actually got a bit better as the gloss wore off. They're still so smooth. Oh well. And now for something completely different. Wow. Okay, but let's get let's see. Errol did a 6.655. Well, his car did. At our age, we probably don't do those kind of lap times on our. And that was good for third so far. Smooth, you better believe it. Chatter, ridiculous. Brakes are good. Top speed is just right. Excellent grip. Not tippy. Very easy to drive. And please, good grief. And bear with me, I spell tires with a Y. Old habits die hard. Okay, and now for something completely different. Here we have a not thunder slot, like not even close, like one of the most unusual slot cars I've seen. I love it. The builder is as brave as the original manufacturer of the car. Chaparrals were never known to be straightforward. Congratulations to Modular SC. It has a green Avant slot chassis with a brass plate at the bottom. So it is unusual body, unusual chassis. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I love the braking with tradition. Modular SC Chaparral. I don't think the fans work, but we'll have to see. If they did work, that would suck.
Slow, 19 laps. 60, 18 laps. 48, 17 laps. 47, 16 laps. 46, 15 laps. 45, 14 laps. 39, 13 laps. 48, 12 laps. 45, 11 laps. 44, 10 laps. 49, 9 laps. 42, 8 laps. 50, 7 laps. 53, 6 laps. 51, 5 laps. 57, 4 laps. 71, 3 laps. 81, 2 laps.
seem to gradually lose grip. Oh yes. Oh yes. I'd have to take a look at the specs, but these are potentially new Evo NSRs or BRM tires, because you could hear it towards the end. It started sounding a little bit rough. It's got little balls on the tires. This is the problem with my Revo slot Viper in the GT3 proxy as well. I have stock Revo tires, and they make these little gummy balls on the tires, and then you have a problem. Just for demonstration purposes, I don't know if you'd be able to see it, but you can see that the little black blobs. I did this on purpose now just to collect them. So yeah, this is they're beautiful. The tires I found on the Revo Sport tires are beautiful when they're fresh and cool, but if you run them a little bit hard, they get these balls on them and then they fall apart. Metaphorically speaking, but still a very creditable 6.799. This one I'm going to split over smooth and chatter because it actually had some chatter even at the beginning. It is definitely not as smooth as the typical Thunder slots, but I think in the end obviously it had a fair bit of chatter, but that was because of the tires. The grip was, whoops, the grip was between good and excellent. It was not tippy. It started off easy to drive. I'd be curious to see which tires it is. If it's the new NSR Evo Super Ultra Grips, perhaps, or as I say, some of the other brands. And next up we have a silver, not a Porsche, number 333, and if it's silver and it has 3s in the number, it can only be Tony. Cheers, Tony. Another Lola T70. I'm not sure why I do this. And a common combination of black chassis, grey pod, this time with a Shark 22K motor, which I think is an excellent choice. It's a pity one can't get them anymore. So yeah, expecting good things again. So far I could have expected good things from all the cars because they're all good. Number 33 Lola T70.
Slow, 19 laps. Thirty-seven, 18 laps. 22, 17 laps. 1916 lambs, 15 lambs, 14 lambs, 13 lambs, 12 lambs, 11 lambs, 10 lambs, 9 lambs, 8 lambs, 7 lambs, 6 lambs, 5 lambs, 4 lambs.
Sorry, Tony. Classic case. I decided I wanted to push a little bit harder. And D-slot number 2. Guys, we're not racing regularly, so when the car just comes off and stays on the racing line, not a problem. But if it goes off like this one now and goes off into the wild blue yonder, I will just get some gunk off the tires, because it does pick up marbles, and it's so that's sort of it is what it is. Will I get better lap times from now to the end? I can pretty much guarantee you I won't. So the tire cleaning won't skew things.
Slow, 3 lambs, 32 lambs, 27 last lap, winner.
Woof. This is a classic example of why this series is just totally dominated by Thunder slot cars. Yeah, what can you say? Tony, brilliant car. .543. Goes into number 2 slot. Smooth, verily. Brakes is perfect. Top speed is good. Grip is magnificent. It is so easy to drive. I am a slow learner. So Tony's car is sort of like Tony the Tiger. They're great. And now all the way on the eastern side of Canada, Chris Walker. A surprisingly conventional looking car for Chris. With a very nice paint job. Thunder slot M6 with, well, Chris paints his chassis, so it's hard to tell from outside. It's one of his trademarks. He paints his chassis, all his chassis, plastic chassis, flat black, and it just makes for a beautiful build. We'll have to see in the details which chassis and which part. another car that looks like just another car. And another one that's going to be ridiculously fast. I mean, it's just a given. Don't know how you guys do it. Chris Guy, number 19.
slow, 19 laps. Thirty-nine, 18 laps. 30, 17 laps. 21, 16 laps. 20, 15 laps. 20, 14 laps. 17, 13 laps. 11, 12 laps. 15, 11 laps. 20, 10 laps. 26, 9 laps. 24, 8 laps. 16, 7 laps. 22, 6 laps. 15, 5 laps. 15, 4 laps. 13, 3 laps. 18, 2 laps. 16, last lap. Winner.
Bobbled. Who was it, Max Verstappen, that said we are not machines when he said we make mistakes? I think the problem with some of these cars is that they're so good, you think you can do the impossible. And they still behave best if you just keep it at the right good level of performance. Chris, just a brilliant car. Good heavens. A new number 2? Yep. Velvety smooth. Doesn't know what the word chatter means. Brakes perfect. Top speed just right. Grip unbelievable. And Tippy, don't be ridiculous. Yes, it is ridiculously easy to drive. Now I'm getting a little bit concerned about, I set the target at 6.4. Well, we haven't gotten under 6.5, so maybe I'll leave it at that. And now, all the way from Japan, Slot Racing Hawaii, and a lovely yellow Lola T70, Thunderslot grey chassis, dark grey pod, and some more unbelievably beautifully prepared tires. This proxy has been an eye-opener for me in terms of tire quality. Well, it's the first time that I've received cars and run them for the first time. So this is an education for me. It certainly shows where I am falling down. I tend to do good tires. To match what you guys are doing, one has to do perfect tires. Slot Racer Hawaii's Lola T70.
'68, 19 laps. 38, 18 laps. 37, 17 laps. 38, 16 laps. 32, 15 laps. 31, 14 laps. 28, 13 laps. 29, 12 laps. 26, 11 laps. 30, 10 laps. 27, 9 laps. 38 laps. 33, 7 laps. 36, 6 laps. 28, 5 laps. 34 laps. 32, 3 laps. 29, 2 laps. 36, last lap. Winner.
Woo! Love it. Got to love it. Takashi, that's just a beautiful car. That's how it goes. A best of 6.670. 6.0. It is smooth. It does not chatter. The brakes are great. Top speed is just right. Excellent grip. Not tippy. Great to drive. Guys, I'm running out of creative things to say. I'm sorry. That's if it's good, it's good. Okay, we are getting towards halfway. Now we have our Liog. It is a pretty white kit painted Thunderslot M6. With pretty much looks like stock chassis, stock pod. and the first one of the new Predator 22.5K motors. I'm a bit surprised that we haven't seen more of these, but yep. Okay. Arleog, pretty blue Elva. Oops. Sorry guys. And now guys, you'll see I won't clean the tires because this didn't go anywhere off the racing line. It just oversteered and popped out. And by that I don't mean the car did it, I did it.
Slow 19 laps. Slow 18 laps. (92) 17 laps.
Now this one does have chatter and does have some grip issues. Are the tires clean? Did I clean them properly?
Slow 16 laps. (95) 15 laps.
This does check.
81 14 laps.
Okay, Houston, I have a problem. It seems to just sort of all of a sudden start chattering and then it
Slow
bounces
13
up,
laps.
particularly on right-hand corner.
Slow 12 laps. Slow 11 laps. 88 10 laps.
Okay, now I'm officially embarrassed. Sorry, Rob.
Slow 9 laps.
It's almost as if something
Slow 8 laps.
rubbing.
Slow 7 laps. 89 6 laps. 83 5 laps. 88 4 laps. 92 3 laps. 89 89, 2 lineups. 90, last lineup. Winner.
Okay guys, this one needs to be treated with kid gloves. It doesn't feel as if anything's catching. Not like COVID. But it just catches, it just does strange things all of a sudden. Early on, 7.216, and this is an interesting mixture of, when it doesn't chatter it's very smooth, but when it's not smooth it chatters. Brakes are good, top speed is good, grip is between excellent and good. It's very good when it's good. It's like the little girl with a little curl. When it was bad, it was horrid. It's not tippy, but it isn't easy to drive. I'm saying almost like a tire rubbing in the comments, but I'm not seeing anything rubbing. So, okay, I should have set can you set the freeze? Do that, and freeze. Let's see if that works. Okay, it sort of kind of works. Okay, so next up we have number 8, Courtney S. Now I'm confused. It says Porsche on the side. It has a flat 8 or whatever engine, but to my untrained eye, this is an M6. So here we have a Porsche M6 or a McLaren 917. Interesting. But the mechanicals are unequivocal. It's all, the body is Thunderslot and the pod and chassis is black. Ooh, okay, here we do have a tire rubbing. Let's see how it goes. It seems like the right hand tire, back rear tire is rubbing, which would mean we could have problems on left hand corners, but let's not go looking for things that aren't there. But I fear. But we will give it our absolute best. So Courtney S with the proportion. You know, if you don't start the race, the don't go. What a thing that is. Dope. Who was it? Daffy Duck, that's it. What a maroon. Yeah, I'm clearly the maroon. What's the motor in this?
Slow, 19 laps.
Too much motor.
76, 18 laps. 17 laps. 61, 16 laps. 67, 15 laps. 52, 14 laps. 56, 13 laps. 49, 12 laps. 50, 11 laps. 50, 10 laps. 73, 9 laps. 67, 8 laps. 73, 7 laps. 88, 6 laps. 5 laps.
Oh, this car is lost grip on.
Slow, 4 laps. Slow, 3 laps. '94, 2 laps. '86, last lap. Winner.
Okay, we had something hokey there. Guide isn't too deep. It's not. Guys, this guide is. Now, I didn't bring a test block today, but this guide, I believe, was kicking up dirt. Because the tires are dusty and the grip went away completely. Now, I can't measure it, but just looking at it, it is very deep. But it shouldn't be that. But it's very long, so I'm not sure what's going on here. It was definitely kicking up dirt. Let's see. So Courtney S. did a 6.898. 6.898. It is smooth, it does not chatter, the brakes are good, the top speed is is too high. The grip is between good and excellent. It's not tippy, it is not easy to drive. It has too much power. And I'm wondering if the guide is dragging. Well, we'll soon see. Next up is my own entry. And I've decided I did not want to go for a Thunderslot car, but I ended up with a Thunderslot chassis. I wanted to change the number to 23 because Chris Amon drove a 612 number 23, but he drove a red car, and my car is blue. So I decided to stick with the number 9 that I started off with. Yeah, so it's a 3D printed Ferrari 612 with a Thunderslot black chassis and a grey pod. And we will soon see if there's dirt on the track. And I'm going to be somewhat embarrassed, I know that already.
Slow, 19 laps. Slow, 18 laps. Slow, 17 laps. 94, 16 laps. 83, 15 laps. 77, 14 laps. 69, 13 laps. 68, 12 laps. 65, 11 laps. 69, 10 laps. 71, 9 laps. 64, 8 laps. 65, 7 laps. 67, 6 laps. 65 laps. 67, 4 laps. 63 laps. 58, 2 laps. 58, last lap. Winner.
Yeah, this is about almost 2/10 off normal lap time that I did during testing, and yeah, I did pick up some dirt. So I think Courtney's car did pick up some dirt. Let's see how it goes from here. Hopefully I've cleaned it with my own car. Okay. So 6.984. It is smooth. Brakes are good. Top speed is good. Grip was somewhere between good and too little. It wasn't tippy. It turned out not to be easy to drive because it was sliding so much. Let's just see how it goes now. Hopefully I've cleaned off any dust that was there. Next we have 53 BN1. Ed Driver has a McLaren Elva. Stock color scheme. It has a black chassis and a grey pod. And another one that seems to be rubbing. I think the pinion is, yeah, the pinion is chewing into the tire. So I suspect this is going to have a ton of brakes and might be down on speed. The Austin Healey McLaren Elva. Oh yes, this is a problem, guys.
Slow, 19 laps. Slow,
Guys,
18
this
laps.
makes no sense. I mean,
Slow, 17 laps. Slow, 16 laps.
maybe it'll chew the
Slow,
tire
15 laps.
away. And then it got some enthusiasm the wrong place. Now we've actually got some rubber on the teeth. Guys, it doesn't make sense for me to run this like this. It's clearly not right. I'll have to noodle on this because I'm not going to get under like 8 seconds. It just has, it doesn't have speed at all because of the binding. So that'll be a non-run round. Next we have a very pretty white kit M6 from Dale Aloha. It is gorgeous. I mean, you won't be able to see it. I'll be posting relatively good photographs of all the cars over the next few days. I'll take decent photographs, not on the track, but at home. I will take photographs of the cars on the track when the final round is held here. But for now, I'll be doing decent photographs at home. So it is Aloha number 3, which is only 75% of the normal Aloha number. Such a pretty car. Good heavens, Dale, this is just ridiculously pretty. And then it goes quickly as well.
Slow, 19 lambs. 18 lambs.
A lot of power.
17
Hard to
lambs.
drive.
71, 16 lambs. 54, 15 lambs. 63, 14 lambs. 56, 13 lambs. 57, 12 lambs. 56, 11 lambs. 16, 10 lambs. 63, 9 lambs.
Let's see if this has some dust on the tires. Ow. Doesn't look like it, but just in case.
Slow, 8 lambs. 83, 7 lambs. 71, 6 lambs. 53, 5 lambs. 48, 4 lambs. 61, 3 lambs. 51, 2 lambs. 59, last lamb. 'Winner.
Okay. Looks okay. Dale, you've got a little bit too much. I don't know what motor this is. It looks like it might be a 25k Piranha. I've not, can't recall from the spec sheet. You've got a little bit too much motor. It makes it hard to control at 11 volts. So 6.848. And indeed, yes, it is smooth. It does not chatter. The brakes are good. Top speed is too high. Grip is between good and excellent. It was not easy to drive because of the power. Okay, sip of water. Next up is number 4, Big Dog. This is very conventional M6 with a black chassis and a grey pod. So very much plain vanilla Thunder slot. Which we've all seen is not a bad thing. Let me tear this off. It's time for a new one. Big Dog, number 4.
Slow, 19 laps. Seventeen, 18 laps. 76, 17 laps. 84, 16 laps. 78, 15 laps. 79, 14 laps. 77, 13 laps. 72, 12 laps. 73, 11 laps. 76, 10 laps. 71, 9 laps. 68, 8 laps. 67, 7 laps. 65, 6 laps. 62, 5 laps. 62, 4 laps. 62, 3 laps. 62 laps. 61, last lap. Winner.
That got better and better as time went by. So Big Dog did a 7009. And verily it is smooth. It did have a small, I'll put in a lowercase x, for chatter, because it seemed to have a bit of chatter even in a straight line on acceleration, which typically means something on the tire, something with the tire. not fully round or something. Brakes were fine. Top speed was a touch on the low side, so I'll add somewhere between good and too low. Grip was between excellent and good. It was not tippy. It was easy to drive. Right. And then we have next ALS number 22. Very creative. I don't think there was a John Player special McLaren ever in Can-Am, but it's and the interior is very, it seems to be loose. Yeah, the interior is loose. But for the rest, standard Thunderslot fare, black chassis, grey pod. I don't want to kick this chair again. I've kicked it often enough. Number 22 ALS. Very nice.
Slow, 19 laps.
Excellent grip.
71, 18 laps. 69, 17 laps. 62, 16 laps. 54, 15 laps. 58, 14 laps.
Oh, we have a mechanical failure. The gear is spinning. So it's either the crown gear, the spur loose on the axle, or the pinion. My money would be on the spur. Oh, no. The spur is missing the pinion. So it looks like the pinion is moved on the motor shaft. Because the spur is running beyond the edge of the pinion. Okay, that's did not finish, but I think we have a representative time. So at least it doesn't seem as if it was slipping on the axle or on the shaft. is it for now after 6 laps. So ALS gets a 6.943. And it was, when it ran, it was smooth. Top speed was somewhere between good and a bit low. Now that might be due to the gearing, but who knows. Grip was excellent. It was not tippy and it was easy to drive. Sorry, Adrian, I just don't have the time to fix it now. But at least you have a reasonably, I think that is a fairly representative number for the car. Could it be better? Yes, it could be better. Okay, gentlemen, number next would be, modern slots, number 52, a Dana Lola T70. Again, standard recipe of black chassis and grey pod with a Shark 25k motor. Well, that proved to be a little bit too much to handle. At this stage, guys, certainly the sweet spot seems to be 22,000 RPM on this track. And this is one of the longer tracks, I believe, in the series. So if you have too much motor over here, it might prove to be difficult on some of the shorter tracks. Very nice.
Slow, 19 laps. $18 laps. 41, 17 laps. 44, 16 laps. 47, 15 laps.
This feels like it has
53, 14 laps.
not enough motor.
57, 13 laps. 54, 12 laps. 42, 11 laps. 40, 10 laps. 38, 9 laps. 41, 8 laps. 37, 7 laps. 39, 6 laps. 38, 5 laps. 38, 4 laps. 37, 3 laps. 35, 2 laps. 38, last lap. Winner.
Alrighty. This feels down on power. With a Shark 25 motor. Would you believe it? Shows you what I know. it definitely it lacked both in torque and top end speed. So it's not a gearing issue. 6.754. It is very smooth. It did not chatter. Brakes were good. Top speed was too low. Grip was excellent. It wasn't tippy. It was very easy to drive. So generally, just down on power, both on acceleration and top end. So that was a bit unusual. Okay guys, we're down to the last 6 now. And the next one up is number 97, Bark 1. This is another custom built 612 with a scratchable chassis, because Bark is known for building stuff from scratch. That's his way of doing things. I always admire and respect people that do that, because I have no clue when it comes to doing that. So number 97, Bark.
Slow, 19 laps. Slow, 18 laps. Slow, 17 laps. Slow, 16 laps. Slow, 15 laps. Slow, 14 laps. Slow, 13 laps. Slow, 12 laps. Slow, 11 laps. Slow, 10 laps. Slow, 9 laps. Slow, 8 laps. Slow, 7 laps. Slow, 6 laps. Slow, 5 laps. Slow, 4 laps.
Okay, I was trying my bestest there. I'm trying too hard, obviously. it is chattery. It's almost more like bouncy than chattery, if that makes any kind of sense. Let's put this over here while I'm at it.
Slow 3 laps. Slow 2 laps. Slow last lap. Winner.
Okay, as soon, it doesn't want to slide. As soon as you go past the point of where it likes to be, it doesn't begin sliding, it immediately starts hopping and chattering. Straight line speed is good, no problem there. So Dan, a best of 7.802. And unfortunately it is not smooth, it does chatter. Brakes are fine. Speed is good. Grip is good, but as I say, it starts bouncing. It is almost tippy. So it doesn't slide. Okay, and now we're in the last 5. The first of the 5 is Rob Malisan, CGY racer, who also marched to the beat of a different drummer, because while he has a Thunderslot body, I mean his car has, he has put a slotted chassis under it. So number 10, very CGY racery. Shell livery, which is also one of his strengths. And yeah, a NSR Shark 22 in a slotted chassis. So breaking the mold a little bit by deviating from the full Thunderslot setup. CGY racer number 10, the Thunderette. Or is that the, yeah.
Slow 19 laps. $75, 18 laps. 71, 17 laps. 51, 16 laps. 44, 15 laps. 42, 14 laps. 45, 13 laps. 37, 8 lamps. 32, 7 lamps. 28, 6 lamps. 30, 5 lamps. 29, 4 lamps. 27, 3 lamps. 30, 2 lamps. 28, last lamp. Winner.
Oof. That's a lovely car. It just goes to show that it's not just underslot. It's the person building the car has a definite influence in it as well. Rob, that's just lovely. It's a 6.678. It is very smooth. I'm going to put a lowercase x in the two little brakes because it is very soft on brakes. Not critically so, but it is on the soft side. Top speed is good. Grip is excellent. It is not tippy. It is very easy to drive. Okay, and the fourth to last is a new member of our group. Wes just started coming, well, he hasn't been participating in our regular racing because ever since he's come, we haven't had regular racing. So he's been soaking things up, and he's taken to this like a duck to water. He's been reporting to the group on his testing results, and he's clearly built a lovely car. It is also a McLaren Elva Thunderslot with a custom paint job, and it is pretty much stock. Black chassis, black pod. Not sure about the motor though. I cannot see what motor it is. So Wes, fantastic. Good to see you entering a proxy. And, great expectations from you. A lot of motor. Scary.
Slow, 19 lamps. 18 lamps.
Not sure what motor it is, but it is definitely the most powerful one.
17 lamps. 16 lamps. 67, 15 lamps. 72, 14 lamps. 64, 13 lamps. 55, 8 lamps. 53, 7 lamps. 57, 6 lamps. 55, 5 lamps. 56, 4 lamps. 61, 3 lamps. 75, 2 lamps. 65, last lamp. Winner.
Oof, too much horsepower for me. Yeah, it is. I find it hard to control with so much power. And this is one of the faster tracks in the series. I think people are going to find it a challenge on shorter tracks because it is very powerful. Maybe the lower voltages might help there. Certainly hope so, but nice nonetheless. A best of 6.940, and yes, it is smooth, it does not chatter, brakes is fine, top speed is too high, grip is between good and excellent, it is not tippy, it is not easy to drive. Yeah, so it definitely has too much power. Both on the bottom and top end. I'm not sure what motor it is, but it is a very powerful motor. Right. And we're into the last three. We have number 1, Nodas, which looks like a pretty much stock slotted McLaren M8. Yeah, there's doesn't look as if there's anything weird or wonderful with us. So yeah, a plain vanilla M8 slotted. Guys, this guide looks too deep. I'm going to run this car at the end. I'm sorry I didn't measure it. Okay, so after that build up, so we'll leave that for later, and we'll jump to VTEC 4. Hey Dan, hopefully things are warmer in Winnipeg now than when they were, but they were a while ago. Now, VTEC 4 Dan is famous for his very pretty brass chassis bolts, and this car is no exception. A resin cast 612 with a very neat and tidy brass chassis. Very neat looking car. Very neat looking car, very typical VTEC 4. it has a lot of bottom end off the line, get up and go, a bit too much, but the top end, it runs out of steam. So I think you might have, you might should have gone maybe for a bit longer, taller gearing. So VTEC 4 7.594. It is somewhere, there is a hint of chatter in it, so I'm going to say it's between smooth and chattery. Brakes is fine, top end is too low, grip is, it is sliding, so it's somewhere between good and too little. It is not tippy, somewhat easy to drive because of the slidingness. It's a bit more difficult than one would like. So the problem here is gearing too high and bit of chatter. Wow. And then we come to the last car. But I'm going to have to do some work and more running, I think, because of the issues that we've had, and in the interest of giving everybody a fair shake. Redliner, again, a pretty much box stock Thunderslot Lola T70. Black chassis, black pod, very nice and shiny tires. Okay guys, the last official runner for today. Redliner number 2.
Slow, 19 laps. Eighteen laps. 82, 17 laps. 79, 16 laps. 70, 15 laps. 64, 14 laps. 65, 13 laps. 62, 12 laps. 59, 11 laps. 59, 10 laps. 67, 9 laps. 69, 8 laps. 57, 7 laps. 66, 6 laps. 64, 5 laps. 57, 4 laps. 61, 3 laps. 56, 2 laps. 61, last lap. Winner.
Right. And there we've had it. Number 2 redliner, the 6.964. Car feels a little bit down on power, both top end and bottom end. Not sure which motor is in there. I didn't try to look at it now, unfortunately. So a best of 6.964. 6.964. It is very smooth. It does not chatter. Brakes are good. Top speed is low. It definitely could do with more power. Grip is excellent to good. It's not tippy. It is very easy to drive. Guys, there we have it. Now, in summary, my bad, I didn't pick up on a guide issue, and so that's one thing that happened. The other thing is that we have a car with the pinion that seems to have moved on the motor shaft. What I am going to do, I will have to fix that and come back and run it again. I can't do it now. And in fairness sake, I'm going to run my own time. I will let stand, but the other guys that ran immediately after we had the guide issue, I will rerun them and just take a look if they do significantly better. If it's not better, then fine. If it is significantly better, I'll use those times, because potentially they were disadvantaged by dust on the track. And we know all we are is dust in the wind. I can't even remember who did that song. The other thing is the number of entrants started off at a furious pace. That's why I curtailed it, and then we pushed it up, and then we went for a shootout. What has happened since then is people have dropped out quite a few, and now we're in a situation where I said 24 people, and we only have 28 entrants. Now this is getting to the point where for me it's getting to be, it really isn't worthwhile disqualifying those last 4. So executive decision, I'm going to not send the last 4 home. Let's make it 28 for this, just for this time. All that I didn't want to have is 32 or 35 or 38 cars where we were at one stage. But I mean, 28 versus 24 is not that big of a deal. So executive decision, I will put it on the forum, but I'm going to send on all the cars, all 28. It's just too close, and it doesn't make any sense to my mind at this stage. And with that, thanks very much. I will do comment some on the forum, but I have to pack up cameras and computers and monitors and everything, and pack my car and go home. So bear with me. It probably won't be this evening. But thank you very much. Lovely bunch of cars, and I can see again Thunder Slots are going to be. It's going to be awfully hard to beat. The one that stands out that might put the cat amongst the pigeons is Rob. His slotted chassis Thunder Slot is a very good car. I think that's going to be the one car that's going to stand in the way of a repeated Thunder Slot dominance. Okay, thank you guys. Had a lovely time, and speak with you later.